There we go. Record na lang natin, anak. So, andyan na naman yung ulan. Okay. So, let's try this. Because I just wanna share my sentiments. So, nandun na naman ang ulan. That's why we can't go live. We can't share anything on live. So, we just have to record and then see what we can do to just, you know, motivate myself, keep going. So, what I have here is magpiprepare ako ng gagamitin ko doon sa aking itong mga sketch paper which I used to do commission portrait na hindi nangyari. I mean, nangyari siya, but then I'll share the story with you while I'm working on this one. So, ito, I use black gesso kasi sometimes gusto ko maggamit ng dark background. Ayan. So, mas maganda siya. Mapino siya. Then, I use this on canvas and on paper as well. Teka nga, isara natin yung bintana konti kasi medyo pumapasok yung ng ulan. Sarap sana yung hangin. Ayan, there we go. So, it's kind of dark kasi brown out. Ayan, pero okay na rin. Dark mood. So, Pebeo Studio Acrylic. So, usually pag sinasabing studio kasi, it's good for average to middle level, parang student grade. Pero, of course, madaming pro din ang gumagamit nito. So, sa quality siya nagkakaiba. Pag sinabing studio at saka professional na. Yes, so ginagamit siya for canvas and also sa board or paper. And then, yung isa naman is Colney brand. White gesso naman ito. And it's a professional gesso. So, mini-mix ko siya to make my tawag dito, yung background ko sa pinupinturahan ko para magiging neutral, para hindi siya masyadong white, hindi siya masyadong dark, kaya pinag-mix ko yan. Madali siyang matuyo. So, what I'm gonna do is, maghahala ako dito ng bago. Kasi, yung gagamitin kong paper is 200 GSM, watercolor paper. Ginamit ko na siya sa previous na work, pero dami kong repeat. So, isang size nun is more or less 20 by 30. Kaya, sayang din kapag itapon. So, I used to recycle things. I recycle my stuff para hindi naman masayang syempre yung ginastos ko doon. So, yung last ko na gamit, hindi ko siya masyadong nalinis. Kaya, medyo dumikit siya at saka ayan. So, I have to put plastic pa sana before covering. But I'm gonna use it again. So, dyan na lang muna siya sa tabi. Ito naman, it's the old mixture that I have. Pure black na, na Pebeo gesso. So, lalagyan ko siya ng konting water. Okay. Just to have a mix of it. Okay lang naman na magkahalo-halo siya eh. Pero, gusto ko siya dito na ihaluan. Konti. Yan, para magiging gray siya. Kasi, aapakan ko ng gesso. Yung papel na pinag-drawingan ko, I'm gonna show you. Kasi ilang white size paper to na I was supposed to, have it for commission. Pero, hindi natuloy. So, that's what I promised. Kasi I received a few messages na din sa mga artist friends natin, ng mga lalo na yung mga bata. Dealing with client rejection. Oo, mahirap. It hurts, diba? Nakakasakit talaga, nakakasama ng loob. Pero, may mga entitlements kasi at rights yung mga clients natin na we can't argue, we can't fight back, we can't insist. Being an artist kasi for me, mas importante sa akin na ako muna yung nagpapahalaga ng work ko kaysa ipilit ko na ibigay sa iba or ano sa iba na hindi nila na-appreciate, diba? I should be the first one to really appreciate my work. My MJ is working with me, helping me out. Kasi wala siyang magawa dahil hindi na charge ng maayos ang laptop niya, mamamatay kapag ginamit. So, we'll have to wait for the power to come back. Ayan. So, kutsari yung pinag-mix ko. Ayan. So, this one is ready na. So, I have a little water here para konti pag kinakailangan ko meron. And then, we'll have to be ready with our pen. Okay. There we go. Thank you, anak. So, first, ito muna, sketch muna. Para hindi masyadong obvious. Sketch muna. So, I don't want to cut this. If i-cut ko siya, gusto ko na evenly primed siya with gesso so that I can use it on watercolor medium. Sorry. I got some air. I was burping. So, pwede ko din siyang gamitin for oil on paper, acrylic on paper, or even coffee on paper, or indigenous media on paper, pwedeng gamitin. As long as it is primed, very well primed with gesso. So, parang konting white pa sana yung kailangan ko dito kasi it's quite dagdagan pa yan. Pero it's too dark. I think, anak, I need one more spoon because this one is already contaminated with black. Can you help me with one, please? Thank you. Ayan. So, manipis lang siya. This is 200 GSM. So, one piece of this, it's Montval. More or less, yata ito is 200 pesos. Isang ganitong kalaki. More or less 200 pesos siya from Art Bar. Or sa ibang mga stores, almost the same lang naman yung presyo. Nagkakaiba lang siya. So, this is Montval. So, maganda kasi sa Montval, it's very fine. It's really a good paper for pencil and charcoal, drawing, pastel. Kasi medyo toothy yung paper. It's kind of fine. So, I'm going to convert this into a watercolor surface using gesso primer. Ayan. So, kailangan hindi masyadong makapal kasi magfi-flaky siya. Thank you, my dear. Magfi-flaky ang ating surface ng papel kapag masyadong makapal ang gesso. Ayan. So, dadagdagan ko lang ito. So, para mag-lighter siya. Napadami yung black. But it's good. Isip ko sana nung siya gagamitin sa isang madami na draw. Ayan. So, palitan lang natin. It's okay lang. Sayang! Ganyan ako ka-thrifty sa mga ginagamit ko. So, this was my first sketch. Hindi ko tinuloy kasi after like siguro mga 3 days ako nag-edit sa Photoshop pa isa-isa for several references para maipagsama-sama ko. Not naman 24 hours na pag-edit, pero of course I have so many things to do din other than editing on Photoshop and prior to, you know, working on the final art piece. So, ganun nga, mga ilang hours din. Of course, it took hours for me to edit. Kasi dapat, kasi malabo, masyadong maliit yung mga references, at saka malalabo talaga, mahirap. But, I dared to work on it, kasi nga, because of the contest na ni-launch namin. So, I was thinking na madami akong maibibigay na art material sa mga contestants, sa mga sumali. But then sometimes, you know, we are being humbled. Minsan, kahit mabuti naman yung intention natin, but the experience will, make us learn, will let us learn something, and it will humble us really in a good way. Of course, hindi natin maiwasan yung mga negative experiences. Pero for me, I embrace those things na kasi parang sanay na ako, siguro wala na akong ikakagalit sa buhay, or kung meron man, it will be extremely reasonable for me to get angry. Ayun kasi yung energy, diba? So, ito, kasi it's paper surface, diba? So, hindi pwedeng masyadong mabasa dahil hindi ito designed for watercolor painting, but I'm going to convert it para sa water medium. So, gagawin ko, na-cover ko siya. Then later on, I'm going to cut it out. Or, remain as this size na lang. Then, work on it. So, ito, ang ganitong dark background niya. Kasi napaka-dark. So, it will be good for acrylic or oil. So, i-convert ko siya into something more useful. Ayan. So, tamang-tamang lang. Kasi pag sobrang basa naman, masisira yung surface niya. Ayan. In all direction. Para yung ng papel is makakover talaga. Ayan. So, mahaba siguro kapag i-video ko ng buo. So, I'll just cut it and then finish and show it to you again. Ayan na. So, konti na lang. Konting portion na lang. So, ganyan ako. Kapag may papel na medyo mamahalin, nire-recycle ko siya. So, ito pwede ko naman siyang pinturahan ulit using other mediums nga, acrylic, oil, or indigenous mediums. Kaso kasi dark siya, kaya I'm not going to use it with watercolor or gouache. Pero sa ganito, pwede siyang gamitan ng watercolor or gouache kapag natuyo na siya. Kasi yung feel ng prime paper na gesso is just like paper na din. Very smooth din siya kasi. And then, kakapit din doon yung pigments ng mga water-based na paints. So, this one would be good for swatching. Ayan. So, pag na-dry, nagiging even yung look niyan kasi the same mixture lang yung ginamit ko. So, pwede ko siyang i-cut, pwede na din hindi. Pero, probably I'll consider using this as a piece of swatch para doon sa mga pinag-aaralan na color. Of course, we continue to learn. Lalo na kapag like yung bagong subject, we have to learn, we have to practice and experiment on our colors, mixture natin, para makuha natin yung kalalabasan na mag-eksakto at para magiging alam niyo na yun, makasave ng time, magiging mas madali ang paggawa natin ng project natin. So, ito ayan, kaya ko siya dinark kasi pag puti, okay din naman, pero prefer ko lang na siya na black kasi I'm thinking of using it as a swatch for acrylic paint and watercolor. Maganda kasi kapag dark yung base or yung background kung nagsiswash tayo kasi nakikita talaga natin yung value, yung use ng color kaysa puti. Iba ang magiging dating niya kasi a background that's neutral like gray or brown, earthly colors, parang ganun. Makikita mo talaga yung kung ano yung kagandahan ng use, tints, ng colors, values ng colors na i-mix natin. So, ayun, madali lang naman siya matuyo actually. So, kaya ganyan yung direction ko para at least makover talaga lahat doon yung mga spaces ng paper at walang lalabas na puti-puti. So, okay lang din yan. It's part of the surface. It's part of the art din. Ayan. So, pag natuyo siya, magiging even yung color niyan. So, papatuyuin natin siya. Ayan. Itong part, tuyo na siya. So, kaya, maganda din siya. So, isang layer lang. Hindi kailangan patungan pang ulit. Kasi it's paper. So, when you move it, pag makapal masyado yung primer na gesso, mag-flaky yun. Hindi siya kagaya ng canvas na at kahit makapal, okay lang din. So, I have to put this aside. And then, ito lang siya. And then, here we go. I have several, like, 3 of this. So, ito naman, it's quite expensive kasi arches ito. And, makapal siya. It's 300 GSM. So, dito lang naman yung pinag-drawingan ko. Tapos, yung sa likod niya, okay pa naman siya. Ayan. So, I can reuse this as the whole piece itself. Hindi ko na siya i-erase para magiging safe ang papel na hindi siya mababaklat or masisira. So, arches paper naman siya, watercolor, ano siya, hot press. Kaya smooth, very smooth siya. So, I'll have to keep this one. So, ito pa lang, itong isa sa Montfalter, it's worth 295 pesos. So, imagine, ito naman yung sa arches is more than 400 pesos. More or less, 500 kasi makapal siya at malapad siya. So, I'll put this aside. I'm gonna use it. I can cut it up para magamit ko siya. I am thinking of using it for coffee painting. Ayan. So, sa likod niya, kapag na-frame, natatakpan din naman yan. So, kaya, sayang kapag nag-work sa medyo expensive na paper kasi nga, diba, pag nasira, masyadong malaki yung gastos. Bawas na din yun sa supposed to be na magiging kita. Anyway, so, tatabi ko to dito. Okay. So, this one, okay, sorry, nakikita yung mukha. Anyway, let me just cover parts of the faces para hindi naman talagang halata. Okay. And this one, and this one. Nagigamask na siya. Para hindi naman makita. So this is just an example actually. Kasi I've been receiving lots of messages actually. Not a lot really, but a few na nag-share ng mga na-experience nila sa pag-drawing, sa pag-commission, tapos ang nangyari is nireject ni client. So, ang sa akin naman, to be honest, this is my first, literally, first rejection. It's a long story, and it was my fault na din kasi tinanggap ko siya. That's the only thing that I really consider as my mistake, na tinanggap ko siya. Considering na masyadong maliliit yung references, and then I really have to spend time editing each face. So, 2, 4, 6, 8 faces siya. So, sa editing pa lang ng faces, i-remini mo, and then i-photoshop mo pa isa-isa. Then, I have to cut each of it, tapos ipagsama-sama ko sa isang picture in order ng pagkakasunod-sunod ng mga characters sa portrait, family portrait kasi ito. So, I don't mean to sour grape or make the client feel bad about this, or rather the ex-client feel bad about this kasi it's hard to explain. It's like, for me, a sudden learning experience na din. Kasi nga, tinanggap ko siya with the hopes of adding more prices na maibibigay ko doon sa nakaraan na indigenous art contest namin. So, tinanggap ko siya, and the client paid ahead of time, but then it's like every day, a couple of times, naka-follow up si client, and then we communicate properly. Babait naman sila actually. And then, I did not ask for a down payment. I said, I'll just have to wait. I'll just have to work on it muna. But then, the client asked me the account number, tapos sinend niya yung payment. Actually, nag-donate pa nga sa, ano natin, sa prices natin. But then eventually, at the end of, I mean, when I submitted it, I made a huge mistake din doon sa background na ginawa ko. Though, I showed naman the final output. Parang nabigla rin ako sa ginawa ko kasi hindi ako sanay na every now and then pinapalo up ni client eh. Ever since I never had a client na halos every moment chine-check yung ginagawa ko. I had the first time na mga 17 years old ako siguro noon na nag-commission ako ng oil painting. Mga ganito din kalaki. Anim ang pinortrait ko. But it was an oil on canvas painting. At that time, 17 years old pa lang ako, I was supposed to join the Shell National Contest. Pero pinili ko na tanggapin yung pinomission ni client kasi neighbor lang naman ng tiyahin ko, and then I was staying there sa bahay ng tiyahin ko alone. Then I was working. I stopped schooling at that time. I was working as a draftswoman sa isang malaking construction ng hotel doon sa amin. I used to work as a draftswoman, drafting works, yung like architectural drafting works kasi architecture yung inaaral ko dati. So, at that time, I was really in crisis. So, ngayon, I'm just going back to that story kasi nga, it was not really a total rejection kasi kinuha naman ni client yung painting ko. And then, every now and then, mga like weekly, once or twice a week, ganun, nag-check si client. Then, ina-unwrap ko lang yung isang, yung natapos ko na supposed to be i-deliver. It's huge, actually. And, balik dun sa kwento ko, at that time, 1997, 98, I think, that was 1998. Malaki na yung worth na 3,000 sa isang painting size. Siguro yung painting size ko that was mga 8, malaki yun eh. Mga 20 inches wide. Mas malaki siya dito actually. 20 by 24. Basta malaki siya. Ayun. So, canvas painting yun. Oil painting. Family portrait then made of oil. Ayun. So, 3,000 na yung single ko way back 1998. So, ayun. Ang nangyari was, when I finished the painting, kasi sabi ko nga, I need the money na, and really expecting na magiging masaya si client kasi along the way, na pinupuntahan niya din sa bahay, chine-check yung ginagawa ko, natutuwa naman siya. And I also, wala pa akong Photoshop that time, syempre, walang computer, mano-mano lahat. So, mata lang talaga at kamay ang gumagana. So, nangyari was, pumunta ako sa bahay nila, and then, kasama ko yung boyfriend ko na ngayon ay husband ko na. Then, what happened was, nung pag-unwrap na, bigla siya, hindi naman kamukha namin ito, ganito, ganyan. Sinoli ko yung mga pictures, like a dozen of pictures na ginawa kong reference. Okay, bakit ganito? Di ba sabi ko, nakita nyo na yan, ma'am? Napupunta kayo sa bahay na ginagawa ko pa lang. Tapos, sobrang liit din ng mga kinukopihan na photos. I tried my best para gayahin. At that time, ilang taon pa lang ako, di ba? I was like 19 years old. Ayun, so nabigla ako. Tapos sabi niya, wala akong pera. Dapat 500 na lang to. Oh my God, it was an oil painting. Usapan namin was 3,000. Tapos ayun, 500 na yung pera ko dito. Sige, sabi ko, okay lang, pwede dagdagan mo na lang ng 500. Ito na yung may babayad ko sa'yo. Sabi niya gano'n. I was like freaking out. Parang, so, nangingiyak na ako that time sa sala ng client. At that age, 18, 19 years old ako. Hinahawakan na nung boyfriend ko din, na husband ko ngayon kamay ko. Tapos si client, palakad-lakad. Sige, sabi ko, kung hindi ka makapagbayad, kukunin ko na lang, dadalhin ko na lang pauwi yung painting ko para magamit ko ulit yung frame at saka yung canvas. Anyway, I can repaint over it. At saka, hindi naman masayang yung ano ko, yung gamit ko, yung kahit lang maibalik sa akin yung canvas ko, tsaka yung frame. Ayun, pero kinuha niya din, inakyat niya, tapos dami niyang sinasabi, nakakasama talaga ng loob. Tapos sabi niyang ganun, ito na yung may babayad ko sa'yo, 1,000 na lang ito kasi hindi naman nakuha daw talaga yung mukha nila. So for me, at that age, kasi bata pa ako, parang okay, tanggap ko, sige lang, I will learn more. Ayun, so that was my first ever rejection. Pero out of 3,000 na deal with that client, 1,000 lang yung binayad. And then, sad thing kasi, nag-complain pa siya dun sa auntie ko na ganun nga. And then sinabi sa akin ng auntie ko, tapos sabi niya, kinakita niya daw yung painting. Sabi niya, kuha naman yung mga mukha nila. Ba't siya reklamo pa ng reklamo? Sabi ng auntie ko sa akin. Sabi ko, ewan ko, hindi siya satisfied. Sana nagpa-blow up na lang sila, sabi ko, ng photo nila. May mga tao talagang ganun. So from that experience, I learned na I really have to study and learn the kind of clients that I have. So from that time on, I never ever had another rejection kasi nga, ingat na ingat ako. Sobrang ingat ko. Kapag nakikita kong si client, parang may attitude, hindi ko tinatanggap yung pinapagawa niya kahit maangas pa siya, nababayaran niya ako ng ganito, ng ganyan. I make a lot of excuses. Kasi kapag willing talaga si client na magpagawa at suportahan tayo ng mga artist, no questions asked. Magiging satisfied sila whatever the outcome ng ginagawa mo. Kasi napakita mo naman yung mga samples. At ginawa mo naman ang lahat as an artist. I wouldn't say na may mga artists na dishonest. Sometimes we have to live, according to our means na din as an artist. Kasi nga, minsan hindi natin mabigyan ng sobra-sobrang halaga yung ibang mga bagay other than sa art natin kasi doon lang tayo nakafocus. I don't know lang kasi yan yung nakikita ko sa mga kilala kong artist. Ano pa man yung style or agawa nila na art, talagang binibigyan nila ng halaga. And that is good. I don't acquaint myself with people na may parang hindi kagandahan yung attitude kasi it would, just give me some problems or nakaka-toxic, diba? So now, I am about to review this one. Sad to say, nabasag siya sa shipment. Ayan, nabasag siya. So I have to cover a bit of the faces to protect the interest of my ex-client. But this is just an example. Kasi nga, di ba, I worked on this for like 5 days. So I used Prisma color. So, yan yung gawa ko. So, ayan. So, yan yung date. Natapos ko siya nung September 28. So, nagkaroon lang ako ng problem sa background actually. Tatakpan ko lang ng konti. So, I have to cover the faces. Ayan. So, kasi I was thinking, na, okay, I'll put a little yellow. So, nagka-problema ako. Kaya, ginanyan ko siya. Kasi, yung frame na napili is merong ganito. So, to match it, instead of black and white, parang nag-initiate ako na maging much creative siya sa background. So, pastel yung ginawa kong background. Yan. So, but then hindi nagustuhan ni client. Then I said, I gave a warranty. They sent a payment. I gave a warranty. This was supposed to be a gift to their mom. But then, hindi siya acceptable. So, wala akong magawa. And I didn't have enough time kasi nga uuwi na kami ng province. So, I had the worst problem in editing the face of the father kasi nga masyadong madaming reference at saka mahirap na kopyahin. So, I'm showing this to give you an example na kahit you work your best na para lumabas yung gusto mong output para lang na makuha mo ang lahat. But then, don't expect too much kasi nga a lot of things would happen along the way. Sometimes we are being humbled from experience and really learn from it.
Umiyak ako, yes. Along the way while working on it, I've been crying kasi sabi ko, ano ba naman itong natanggap ko? It's too hard. And I am not really able to prepare na ganito pala yan. Na every now and then, i-check ka. So, I cannot show every piece, every part, every single bit of it. Nakaka-pressure, nakaka-tension. I was supposed to give it up, pero sabi ni Haso, sige na, tinanggap mo yan, tuloy mo na lang, tapusin mo na lang. So, sad thing is, nung natapos na, I was so excited. Sabi ko, okay na to. Okay na to. So, this was all Prisma. Then, ayan. For me, it was really an experience, not something to blame the client for. So sinabi sa akin na I can bawas na lang yung gastos ko sa materials and all, but I just decided to return all the money kahit nagbayad pa ako ng extra sa PayPal, more than $12. Basta maibalik ko lang para wala akong maisip na okay, I did not really satisfy the client on this kind of project, so I have to live it that way. No regrets. Lesson learned. Tears are comforting. So, okay na sa akin yun. Resolved na ako doon. Pero, my point is, madami sa atin, madaming mga young artists na kapag ni-reject ni client, nagsastar graping, nagiging bitter, nagmumura, pinopost sa social media, ini-scratch, sinusunog, or pinupunit yung ginawa nila. I'm not like that. So, kanya-kanya kanya-kanyang trato sa mga pangyayari. It speaks about our character and our attitude. Kasi nga, di ba, ang hirap na mag-expect, ang hirap na mag-please ng kahit sino. And I think, kahit sino pang batikan na artist, makakasabi na, you will never please everybody and you cannot satisfy everyone. So, this is one of my best example ng client rejection. So, no regrets, lesson learned, a very sweet lesson that I learned na hindi kailangan magtiwala sa kakayahan natin all the time. At kailangan kahit anong mangyari, at the end of your project, you are willing to accept. And you have to rethink and remake things, para lang makabawi ka doon sa mga nawala mong oras, napudpud mong mga gamit, and then yung pera na nagastos mo sa materials, and etc. Yung time, of course, and everything. So, education is expensive. Learning is actually very expensive, and the young generation nowadays are very lucky to have everything at the tip of their fingertips, na nakaka-learn sila ng mga bagay-bagay na hindi natuturo sa school at hindi natuturo ng parents or ng kahit sinong teacher. So maraming strangers who are so generous enough na mag-skill share o magbigay ng mga advice online. And for me, it's like a calling na rin, just to comfort those young artist friends na nagme-message sa akin, suffering from client rejection. It's okay to cry. It's okay to embrace the failure. Kasi just try to think about that. After a while, after a few days, after weeks, months, years, you will get back to that experience na kung bitter ka, madadala mo yan for so many years. But the point is, why not resolve yourself right away? Money is not easy to find. Mahirap maghanap, magtrabaho para magkapera. But then for me, it's not an issue. Labor is sweet para sa akin. Natutunan ko yan sa father ko. Kasi kung you work hard and smart, kahit mawala sa yung buong pera mo, kahit anong sakuna ang darating, you will still be moving onwards. You will still be moving up better than before. Alam mo yun, if you are a Christian, I advise you to go back to the story of, yung story ni Jacob, yung story ni Moses, lahat, ang daming rejections, ang daming turmoils, ang daming nila, diba? So, kailangan, if you're an artist, we really have to also polish our character, our attitude in dealing with our clients. It's okay to sometimes complain. It's really okay. We are normal human beings here. Hindi tayo santo. We're not saints. We're not gods, di ba? It's okay to express that, but then to the right people. Masakit kasi din na ipopost natin yung mga complaints natin, then yung mga private chats natin ni clients on social media. And then, it's not gonna help, the artist itself, and worse, not even the client. So, nagsisiraan na lang. But then, why not learn something good from that bad experience para din sa pag-grow natin as an artist? Mahirap kasi na ipilit natin na ito yung gusto natin, which is not acceptable sa other side of the party na iba din yung expectation nila. So, I'm really sorry kasi nga hindi ko din gusto ipilit yung point of views ko sa inyo and then yung ugali na meron ako. But kahit konti lang sana ipapolish natin as a young artist. I was then young, hindi na ako ganun kabata now. So, why not learn? Polish natin ng konti yung attitude natin. Stop posting yung mga ill feelings about the clients, yung mga ganun. It's okay lang na i-post mo dyan na ganito, ganyan. This is what I want. Ako nagpo-post din ganun, pero we should not, alam mo yun, wag natin silang kalabanin. It's their right. Pera din naman nila yan. Gumastos tayo ng oras at saka yung pera din natin because of the materials that we spend for the project na hindi naman nila tinanggap. But then, you know what? When you do business, you really have to expect losses. That's just the logic. Okay lang talaga. So sila nag-antay lang, ganun lang, and then you worked hard, pero kahit anong bagay, we really have to expect losses. And we learn from that. Isipin mo na lang the next project na makakabawi ka twice or even more. So for me, after a while, nagulat ako. Sabi ko, gusto ko ng malaking, hindi lang 3 ang aking bibigyan ng prizes sa contest na to. Gusto ko medyo madami-dami bibigyan ko sila ng yung mga artist na baguhan lang, na worth it yung mga ginawa nila, bibigyan ko sila. So along the way, I just keep on doing things. I just kept on doing things. I prayed and always thankful lang, happy lang. Kahit cry it for like a few hours, then you'll be okay. Alam mo yun. Iiyak mo lang, tapos na yan, lilipas na din yan, di ba? So, nangyari, I was surprised. I have a friend na malaki ang nagiging donation. So, until now, may hawak pa ako for the next contest. Di ba nakakatuwa? So, I thought, akala ko, I lost a lot of money investing on this project, materials and time and effort. But then, God is good. Sobra-sobra ang ibinalik sa akin. So, ganun lang ang example na gusto kong ibahagi sa inyo. So, we will continue with this endeavor. Okay? So, ito, tatanggalin ko siya dito sa frame. Maganda yung frame, actually. So, re-reuse ko siya. And then, I'll have to buy a new glass kasi aksidente siyang nabasag sa shipment. Hindi natin maiiwasan kahit ilang wrap pa ang mangyayari kasi sa mga impact, sa mga ganun, hindi natin naiiwasan. Kaya it's very dangerous din talaga to ship artworks with the glasses, lalo na malalaking artworks. So I prefer paintings kasi pwede siyang i-create or ma-wrap ng maayos. Pero pag glass, it's really, really dangerous kasi very, very brittle, very, very risky. Pero ito naman, I can take this to the glass cutter, ikakat ko siya, then I can order for another glass na pwede kong gamitin sa frame, and then this one, I can order another frame, or this one, I'll work with medium na hindi ko na rin kailangan ng gagamitin ko na lang itong frame and itong ano na to, matted ano na to, ang ganda. Ayan, may something wrong. So gagamitin ko na lang ito for my project, personal project. Siguro like i-gift ko kay mommy, so baka gamitin ko siya sa oil or acrylic para hindi ko na rin kailangan ng glass. But then it's good kapag may glass din, mapoprotect siya. So marami naman siguro mga ano dito, makaka-provide nung ganito kalaki na glass. So, I will replace the glass, have this glass cut out, para magiging okay siya. Diba? So, that's just the way. I reuse, I upcycle everything that I work. So, we will continue with this one. And I hope na you find something worthy in this talk. At maibsan na rin yung mga sama ng loob nyo sa mga client rejection ninyo. Just remember, na isa lang yan. You still have plenty of people along the way in your life na mabibigyan nyo ng halaga mabibigyan nila ng halaga ang artwork na ginawa mo. So, before accepting something from your client, you have to really know that person. Background check ka muna. Then, converse along the way habang di mo pa nagagawa, converse along the way. Pero, it's not a guarantee. Kasi minsan kahit anong okay ni client, kahit anong galing ng usapan ninyo, kahit nakakommit na siya na whatever, a lot of changes will happen along the way, and you have to expect the worst, just hope for the best. Ganun ang life ng isang artist. Diba? So, I hope to go live para din makita ko yung questions, and then makahelp pa doon sa mga nagme-message sa akin. Honestly, nobody really helped me to boost my confidence. It was all my experiences and then my observation in life na nakatulong sa akin. Kasi I never talked to people then before talaga. Kung ano yung mga insights, anong opinions, anong meron ako about art. Kasi konti lang yung mga artist na nakakasalamuha ko. And I'm so happy ngayon na napakarami na pwede nating makausap, pwede nating ma-chat, at pwede natin ma-asking opinion online. So we're living in a world, even though we are personally unattached sa mga tao, but then we can get in touch. It's like, the spirit is working through the cyber world right now. It's like a different world today, unlike before. Anyway, I'm not that really old, but then iba talaga. Iba ang mundo ngayon. So anyway, let's embrace whatever we have. And then, we learn and continue to polish also. Not just our skills, not just our talent, but then at least, we also polish our attitude, our character as an artist towards our clients and friends and family. Yun yung pinaka-importante. I'm not perfect. I'm not a saint. I may commit more mistakes, but then I don't expect people to really revere me or to really, idolize me, to call me master, because I'm none of those. Please don't do that to me, okay? We are all equal here. We learn along the process. Everything is, let's say, constant and not so constant. So anyway, yun lang. So, all the best, okay? Sa mga nakapag-message sa akin about client rejection, I hope na you can understand better now bakit ganon nag-reject si client. It's not you who is the problem. It's the client's issue because hindi nila accepted ang gawa, and we have to accept the fact na ayaw nila sa gawa natin and just move on, diba? Okay, so ito na, tatanggalin ko na siya sa pinaglagyan na yung painter kasi ito sa akin. Ito para ma-fix siya as in, hindi siya magagalaw at hindi siya kukulagyan. Kaya nakadawin na test present. So, parang sila na din talaga yung paper. But then, I'm not gonna waste it kasi sayang eh. Sayang. I will not throw this paper. I will reuse it again. Ayaw ko magtatapang. Kaya I have guests, so I have the materials needed para ma-upcycle ko pa, ma-recycle ko pa, or whatever you call it, cycle. Para naman siya hindi sayang. So, magaling si Kuya Framer sa Frame for All. Dyan ako nagsusuki ngayon ng frames ko. Kasi, marunong mag-ingat si Kuya ng mga art pieces. Yeah. Ito kasi pinayagan ko na idikit na lang talaga dito para hindi magkukulubot dahil malapad siya eh. So kapag mga like
mga maliliit lang naman na pieces, there's no need. Basta intact lang yung pagkalagay, yung mga sa sides niya lang. So this has to be fixed talaga sa backing niya. Kasi, di ba, our weather is kinda humid. Kaya kailangan yung mga art pieces natin secure doon sa backing. Hindi siya basta-basta nagkukulubot. So, doesn't matter kasi hindi na rin ito kukunin ni client. Ni-reject na din kasi dahil, it's their right. Hindi sila satisfied. Kahit anong gawin ko, there's nothing, to work on it. So, wala tayo magagawa. You just have to, do something better. Anyway, it's the first time I got rejected naman. So, lesson learned din talaga. A very good lesson. Na wag dapat padalos-dalos. And, ayun, I don't mind kung gumastos man ako ng oras na kasi tapos na yan. We cannot, put ourselves into trouble na mag-sour grade pa tayo kung ano na yung tapos. Kung kung baga, wag na tayong umiyak. So, kaya ko ini-share sa inyo. And this is also helpful din kung paano ma-recycle or ma-upcycle yung mga gamit natin. Pwede pa natin ma-use. Pwede pa natin gamitin. Kaya kasi kapag tinatapon yung mga pinaghirapan natin, we have to do something about it. Mahal ang mga art materials. Diba? Mahal. Sobrang mahal. So, it's not like other things kasi sa buhay natin na madali lang. This one, kapag yung mga artists nagtatrabaho, kasi diyan nakabuhos lahat yung mind, yung isipan nila, yung heart nila. I think this is really kind of difficult. So, pag ganito na siya, masyado na siyang sira din. So, I think, hindi na kaya yung upside ko talaga. There are other things na hindi na talaga kakayanin. Ayaw ko nang pilitin. Ayan. So, can't do anything about it. We have to accept it na it's a total loss. Diba? So, inisip na natin to. I cannot reuse this anymore for painting. So, sad fact. So, gusto ko pa sanang gamitin, pero hindi na. Kasi, napakatibay ng pagka-secure doon sa backing ng artwork. So, okay lang din. So, what we can reuse na lang is the frame. Ayan. So, we have to clean this up para malinis naman siya for the next na And, ito for personal collection na natin. Diba? I don't want to pass on a sad history to other people. Sad siya kasi hindi nangyari. Hindi siya nagiging successful, hindi siya acceptable doon kay client. Diba? So, kaya, kung hindi nyo naman kaya talaga yung mga pinapagawa, like, masyadong malabo yung mga photo na binibigay at saka hindi yung pag-aanong kilala si client. You know what? We can teach people to expect, what's in our mind, what's the quality that will come out of our work. Kasi iba-iba din tayo ng mga pananaw sa buhay. So, one thing na na-learn ko is we should never rely kung ano man ang level ng natin, ng pagkabihasa natin sa art. There will come a time in our life na mangyayari yung mga bagay na hindi inasahan. So, it's not all about being good at what you do. It's not all about how you, work on your art. Pero it's all about people. It's all about humanity. Parang ganun lang yan. Kasi a lot of people are really entitled of their own expectations, of their own rights. So, never argue with that.
kapag nangyari na i-reject kayo ni client, never complain. Kung papayag si client na bayaran nila yung nagastos mo sa mga materials mo, then it's okay. But I tell you what, they will really be bitter kasi nga hindi nila nagustuhan yung gawa mo. So for me, mas pinakamabuting gawin, ibalik na lang talaga yung buong pera nila even if gumastos pa kayo. And then, make it a resolution to yourself. Magiging resolve ka na the next projects mo, it will be better. It will be something na makakabawi ka din. You know, hindi naman at one time, pero at least you have to really hope for a good client. Maswerte yung mga kabataan na sinasabing hindi naman sila ganun pa kagaling, hindi naman sila ganun kadetalye, pero nagiging satisfied yung mga clients nila sa mga ginagawa nila. So, lucky for them kasi very supportive yung mga clients nila. So, depende talaga yan sa tao. So, sometimes, doon din sa mga clients na nag-expect ng sobra-sobra sa kakayanan ng artist, kahit mga sa pro artist, I mean, hindi lahat kasi, may mga times talaga na may mga challenges sa paggawa. So, mas mabuti na kung sobrang taas ng expectation ni client, mas ano na talaga sila, pumili na sila ng mga artist na gagawa at magiging alam mo yon, dissolve sila sa kahit anong magiging outcome ng kanilang pinapagawa. Pero kasi kung tutuusin, iba pa rin kasi ang rate dapat yung sa photo editing kapag ipagsama-sama mo, lalo na maliliit, may ibang rate talaga yun dapat doon sa pag photo edit and everything. Kaso ngayon madaming app na available na madali na lang na i-enhance o i-colorize yung mga lumang photo or mga photos na hindi ganun sharp. May mga app na kasi ngayon na libre or kahit paid app na kakonti lang naman yung babayaran. So it's good for the artist na din. Nakakatulong din siya. But then if it's too hard, like you're going to combine at hindi kaya pa ng skill, kasi may mga clients na magbibigay sa'yo ng pictures na iba-iba, tapos gusto ipagsama-sama, then you really have to make a deal kung ano lang ang kaya mo. So, kahit nagbigay na ng example ng mga work na halimbawa, naka-show ka na ng mga sample work mo, and then, iba ang kalalabasan, so, huwag mo nang sisihin din yung sarili mo. Kasi, there are a lot of things na hindi natin talaga nakokontrol. A lot of things that is beyond, our control. And, you just have to always hope for the best. Kaya nga, as an artist, investment talaga ang mga materials at ang oras. Kaya, I do not focus on working, being an artist. Mas gusto ko siya na hobby art lang talaga. Ngayon lang naman ako nag-accept ng mga commissions dahil I stopped working dahil ang trabaho ko talaga is online. Just imagine that na yung isang piece ng artwork ko that would be like around ilang oras ko na gagawin. Mga siguro 4 hours, 5 hours ko gagawin. That would be only 30 minutes of my paid work online, to be honest with you. Kaya diba, ang tindi, kung mawawalan ka ng work. Dati, easy go lucky ako kasi umaasa ako sa trabaho ko. I do little with artworks. Yung mga nakakaaliw lang sa akin. But then, ngayon, I accepted. Siguro itong experience din, parang balik din sa akin. Kasi I've rejected too much na mga pinapagawa ng mga clients dati. Hindi ko na ina-accept kasi iniisip ko palagi, papagawa kayo sa akin, like, ito gusto niyo mangyari, but then you're gonna pay me with this lang. Mag-work na lang ako sa trabaho ko. Parang, I became so prideful na din. Kaya it's good na merong other job or rather stable job din yung artist. Hindi lang nagde-depend sa art. Parang side trip na lang. Pero if you're a pro na talaga, like you're professional na, like the others na yung life nila is really dependent on doing artwork, parang ganon. Ibang usapan natin yun. So for me, I chose to do other things, other kind of job rather than focusing only on art. Kasi parang nadala na din ako na simula pa pagkabata ko, I've been working too hard. Nagiging source of my allowance na din yung art. Parang when I found a good job, a better job wherein I can earn, you know, the cost of my 30 minutes, I can, you know, do a lot and earn more than doing art. So, nagiging komportable na ako. But this pandemic really, you know, put us all in a situation wherein we can introspect, wherein we can learn a lot of things, not just about our art, but it's more of polishing ourselves as an artist. So, ngayon lang din ako nagsishare ng mga artworks ko na naka-archive. Marami pang naka-archive. Hindi ako nagsishare, madamot ako. Never akong nag-post ng mga art ko dati. Kasi, it's a personal issue din na I'm dealing with. So, may mga gustong bumili and then I rejected them na ayaw kong ibenta din dahil nga I can't depart from my art. It's so sad. Kaya I came up to the idea of reprinting my art para lang na syempre maibenta ko ng mura. But then of course, yung iba kasi I cannot just depart from it dahil there are certain sentimental stories going on while I was working on each piece. Kaya hindi ko talaga pwedeng basta na lang ibenta. So, mahirap i-explain, but then every piece of my art, you know, there is a kind of story behind it na napaka-sentimental. Kaya hindi ko basta-basta mag-depart or I cannot detach from it. Like, literally. At yung iba nga, hindi ko yun i-frame, hindi ko na-display, hindi wala din akong pag-displayhan dahil it's another long story. Kaya nga sinasabi ko, my life is too abstract, so that's why I am really into realism. Nag-strive ako sa mga realistic na artwork, mga outputs na more on realistic kasi nga my life is too abstract. Mahirap ipaliwanag. Anyway, so ito na. Medyo malinis na siya. So I'll wrap it up later on kasi may pagka-sticky-sticky siya para malinis naman siya for the next art piece na gagawin ko. Alright? So, thank you and stay creative, guys. Stay safe as well. God bless.